What is poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl DOPEaxxPANA, and today in this video I'm going to be creating some Bohemian faux locks, and I'm not using any pre-made locks in this video, guys. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to Ywigs because they are sponsoring this video. They sent me some banana clips, and they also sent me 3 packs of their water wave hair. Y'all know they have some of the best human hair, which is why I've been working with this company on a lot of my boho styles, y'all. It is nice and full. I'm just showing you guys how full that bundle is, and this is a different texture than I typically use. I love a deep wave, but this is a water wave, so it's a little bit of a softer curl, and I really love that. Today in this video, I'm going to be using 2 of their bundles to create this look. If you guys want a really full look, I would definitely suggest 2 bundles, but the more you buy, the better deal you get, so make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. All of their information will be listed in the description section along with the coupon code. You guys, this is some bomb bulk human hair braiding hair, and I wouldn't be using it if I didn't think so, so make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. So jumping right into this video, I'm gonna first show you guys how I'm gonna be prepping this hair, because this is a really important part to make sure that you guys save time on your install. So I'm gonna take a little bit of product, I'm gonna pull some of that hair out the bundle, and I'm gonna place the product at the top of the bundle, and I'm gonna kind of use that to keep the hair in place so that I can separate tiny pieces, which I'm going to be adding into my boho locks. Now, I already told you guys that it's going to take 2 bundles to complete the fullness of the look that I'm about to show you guys. So now that you guys know that, make sure you guys are prepping 2 bundles before your client arrives. If you want more of a soft look and not as full, then you guys can prep 1 bundle. Guys, this human hair goes a long way. That's why I love it so much. You're also going to need 3 to 4 packs of this rasta-free water wave hair. You guys can honestly use any type of water wave hair, but this is what we're going to be using to create and wrap the locks, y'all. We are doing a very old school method, and we're not using any pre-made locks. We're going to create our own locks, and I know what y'all are thinking. It's 2024. Why would we not use a pre-made lock? But the company requested me to film this tutorial this way, and I guess there are instances where you may not be able to find a pre-made lock. Also, those pre-made locks are expensive, so if you guys can cut out using a product, I wouldn't see why you wouldn't want to do it. But y'all, just to make sure I knew what I was doing, because I was leaving curls out at the end and all type of stuff, I did do this first row, and I kind of just played around with different ways that I want to do it, but I'm going to show you guys which way I like the best, and we're going to jump right into it. So you guys know that you always want to make sure you make those parts HD, and the way that you do that is get a nice clean part before adding product, and then you're going to add product on top and just go over that part. Another thing, you want to make sure that you are brick layering your locks. For me, I personally don't like my locks to be super full, so I do larger parts, but I just make sure that they are brick laid so that they lay in between the row before it, and that will give a fuller look. Everything that I use in this video will be linked in the description section, so make sure you guys check it out there. I list the comb, the hair, the products that I use. If you guys purchase through the links, you guys will be helping to support my channel, so please do that if you guys can, and I appreciate your support in advance. So to create the base of my lock, I'm going to take 1 piece of that water wave hair, I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to take half of that and I'm going to separate it into 4. This is going to be the base of my lock, so each braid that I'm creating will have 4 pieces of this cut in half hair. So essentially we're going to start off by just doing boho braids, and I'm going to be making them very full because I wanted these locks to be really full. In addition, I'm going to make sure that I have curly hair hanging out the bottom of the locks, so I'm going to start off by doing a knotless braid, and my first piece that I add in is going to be some of that curly boho human hair. Then I'm going to continue to braid down, and I'm going to add my first piece of the water wave hair. So my client wanted her locks to stop about her lower back, which is why we cut the water wave hair in half, but obviously if you want your locks longer, then you're gonna skip that step and make sure that you're making this braid as long as you want the lock. So I'm just gonna braid down. Remember, this is gonna be a knotless boho braid, so we're adding those curly pieces in and leaving them out to hang. This braid does not have to be super neat because it's actually not gonna show. It's gonna be the base for our lock, so we're gonna be wrapping hair around it, so it's okay if the braid is not perfect. And I'm braiding in with the water wave hair because I do want these locks to flow, and sometimes I feel like when I use a Marley hair for the locks tend to be really stiff, so I am using the water wave hair to wrap and also to create this braid. Now typically when I'm adding in hair for the boho braid, I am putting one side of the human hair in the braid and I'm leaving a longer piece of it out. But for the end, I'm gonna make sure that as I'm braiding, I'm not leaving that curly piece out. You guys can see I'm just gonna let it hang down, and I'm gonna continue to braid just like if you were to be feeding in hair, because this is the hair that's gonna fall out at the bottom of the lock. You wanna start adding the curls for the end of the lock about when you have about 1 inch left of that water wave hair, and you're just gonna keep braiding down and keep adding in those pieces until you see as many curls as you want to hang out the bottom of the lock. At the end of each lock, I'm adding about 3 to 4 pieces before I seal the lock. Now those pieces that I left out in the boho braid are gonna be the pieces that are gonna fall down and hang throughout the locks. For those, I put about 4 to 5 pieces in each braid. So to seal the lock at the bottom, I'm gonna be using nail glue. Guys, please do not ever put nail glue anywhere near your client's natural hair. My client's hair is actually cut in a bob right now, so I know her hair is nowhere near the bottom of this lock, but when you're up close to your client's natural hair, that's what you use hair glue for. Funny story, I was watching People's Course, one of my favorite shows, and a hairstylist was on there. Somebody took her to court because she was doing locks on the client and put glue in the client's hair. And she was like, I learned it from a lady on YouTube. And I was thinking, I hope this bitch ain't talking about me, because I ain't never told nobody to put no nail glue where your client's natural hair is. Please do not do that. So now, moving along, I'm taking half of a full piece of water wave hair, so this is not cut in half, and I'm gonna kind of fan it out to make it fluffy, and this is what I'm gonna use to wrap around the lock. Again, you're gonna take a piece of the water wave hair, break it down in half, and then fluff that half piece out. Next, I'm gonna crochet this in to the top of the braid, and one side is gonna be super short because we're just gonna use that to anchor that hair in. The other side is gonna be long, and that's what we're gonna use to wrap down, y'all. This is a tedious part because you want to make sure that you are not wrapping those curls away. So at the base, we're going to wrap around like 2 to 3 times at the root. And then as we come down, we're going to make sure that as we're wrapping down, we're pulling those curly pieces that we left out of the lock so that they're going to be hanging down. So that's what you guys can see me doing here. Also, make sure as you're wrapping down, that hair is fanned out. We don't want the hair to be like too close. So sometimes you guys will see me kind of fan it out and make sure that it's spread out. And as you're going down, you want to just make sure that you're removing all of those curly pieces so that you guys can add to the fullness. Now, as I'm wrapping, I am wrapping these locks tight, but not like super tight to where I'm like pulling it and making sure it's really tight. I'm kind of just going with the flow and wrapping all the way down, making sure that as I get to those pieces, I'm pulling them out and sticking them in the comb. You guys can also use a clip to do this, but it doesn't matter if the lock appears to be stiff or seems to be stiff because we're actually going to be dipping these. So I'm just going to continue to wrap until I get all the way down and pull those curly pieces out, and then I'll show you guys how I seal it. All right, so when I get to the bottom of the lock, I'm gonna take a small piece of that curly hair that I left out, and I'm gonna tie it in with the water wave hair. So you guys can see I'm showing you guys both of those. I'm gonna tie it around each other, and then I'm gonna continue to wrap the water wave hair up. Now to seal the lock, again, I am using nail glue at the bottom of the lock that is nowhere near my client's natural hair. On some of the locks, the water wave hair was a little bit longer, and so I did have to wrap up a little higher. If I'm anywhere near my client's natural hair, I'm gonna make sure that I'm using hair glue. So with the nail glue, guys, you only need a little dot, like barely any. You guys can barely even see it, and I'm just gonna take the rest of that water wave hair and wrap it around where I put that nail glue, and that is going to seal my lock in place. So once your locks are wrapped, this is what it's gonna look like. And again, like I said, it might look a little stiff, but we are gonna dip these locks and it's gonna relax them a lot. And personally, this time, I don't know why I was doing it, but I just started dipping the locks as I went just because I was eager to see how they were gonna look and how they were gonna lay. I was actually really nervous to do this style because if y'all follow my channel, y'all know a couple things about me. Number one, I absolutely hate doing faux locks. And typically when I don't like doing a style, it's either because I'm not confident in doing it, I'm not comfortable, or it's super tedious. And I feel like with faux locks, all of the above apply. Like, it's just not something that I do frequently. It's tedious. It's just something different for me. It's not really in my rhythm and flow of things of how I typically do it. So I was kind of eager to see how they look. So basically what I'm gonna do is pull up all of the curly hair. This is human hair, so it can get in the water, but I do not like to compromise the curls even when I have 100% human hair. I try not to dip it in boiling hot water. So I'm going to pin them up, and I'm going to go ahead and dip these locks as I go, and you guys will be able to see how they instantly start to relax. So this here is what it looks like when they're dipped. You guys can see that they're a lot more relaxed and they just flow a lot better. So we are going to continue on. So to finish off her head, I decided that I was just going to do all of the boho braids and then come back and wrap them. Y'all, when I tell y'all this style literally took forever, we're actually kind of crazy. So we started her hair at 9 p.m. and we ended up leaving the salon at around 5 a.m. because I had to get home before my husband got up for work so that I could get back to my son. Then we woke up that morning and finished it off. I literally had a couple hours in the morning before I had one of my clients, so I was like, let me just finish wrapping these in the morning. So we did that. And then she came back like 2 or 3 days later for me to actually record the finished look, which is why I'm wearing a completely different shirt in those last videos. But y'all, it was literally a struggle. I don't even know how I had the energy, how I had the strength. I barely had the strength actually, but all in total, this style took about 10 to 11 hours, which I don't really know what the average time for this style is when you're creating your own locks, but it's almost like doubling up what you're doing because you're doing boho braids and then going back and wrapping locks over them. But I felt like the finishing style was definitely worth it. But baby, if I did this again, I'm charging a bag. So much respect to the Faux Locs girls because I don't know how y'all do it, y'all. I was literally so stressed out. So this is what it looked like when I completed all of the boho braids and I just had to go back in and wrap them. But you guys can see how full this is. This is a pack and a half of that water wave hair. So this is not even a full 2 packs, y'all. When I tell y'all, this hair goes crazy. I absolutely love it. And for maintenance purposes, all you really need to do is use water. So I've used this company a couple times before now, and pretty much all my clients have been telling me that they've been getting a mister, which is like a spray bottle that shoots out mist of water, and they literally just mist their hair and the curls bounce right back. So that's one thing that I really, really love about this hair. You do want to be careful when you're using products like mousse because they can cause buildup. They can make the hair sticky. And if you guys have had full boho before, you guys already know that they tend to wrap around the braid or the lock. So you don't want anything that's going to make them even sticky or anything like that. So just a water mister, and you can use a light conditioner and these curls will bounce right back. Now, I know what y'all are about to say. We need a takedown video. So as soon as she's ready to take these down, I will definitely film her takedown for you guys because I know you guys want that. But this is the mister I was talking about. You guys can see I'm misting down the curls, and like I said, this finishing look video was a couple days later, but the curls are still popping. Any curls should be popping 2 days later, but these curls is gonna pop 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. No, I don't know about 2 months. 2 days, 2 weeks later, the curls are gonna hit. But you guys can see how they're falling out the locks. We absolutely love that. And they were super cute down, y'all. But I told her we're gonna have to throw these up in a style, so you guys are gonna see me style them as well. But basically, all I did for this finishing look, because it was a couple days later, was re-wet the hair, and then I'm gonna go in with the oil sheen. The one that I'm using is by Guy Tang, but there's a bunch of oil sheens that I love. If you guys want me to make a video on that, of course I will. But you guys can see with just the water that this hair is still hitting, okay? So the style I chose was 2 buns just because I love Imani in 2 buns. Y'all know I do her hair all the time. This is my favorite updo to do on her. And I just love the way the curls are falling out so soft. It's just hitting. If you guys love this video and love this hair, let me know by thumbs upping this video. Don't forget to check out Ywigs. Thanks again so much for sponsoring this video. And as always, guys, I will catch you guys in my next motherfucking video. Peace out. What you mean you don't know Pana? She's dope. What you mean? What you mean? What you mean? What you mean?